Alright guys, welcome back again to another go at Umineko. So we're getting some more things coming into the picture that's helping to shed some light on certain episodes that went by, as we are now currently on episode 5. So I'm getting hints and bits and pieces of hints right now, and it's starting to, put the picture all together as a whole. So I'm starting to fill in the gaps here and there, but I'm waiting till we finish this episode before I decide to go forward with everything. But so far, it's filling in the picture, and I'm liking what I'm seeing, but there's still some questions I have. But if anything else, guys, we're going to continue on from where we last left off, so I hope you all continue to enjoy. Thank you again for all love and support, and let's get to it. Alright everyone, welcome back.
このカードを伏せたまま場に出すってやつね。
Oh, fantastic. A Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
ダイレクトアタック。
After suddenly being conked on the head, Lambda Delta was bewildered. But perhaps this incomprehensible exchange was funny to her, because she quickly went back to giggling.
これであんたのゲーム版の準備は十分？ええ、そうよ。それじゃあいよいよゲームを進めるわよ。1986年10月4日にね。何度目の1986年10月4日かしらね。無限の魔女か。ベアトリーチェ、やはり恐ろしい子だわ。ベルン側は何か行動ある？ないわよ。あんたが復讐要求に応えないなら、それで終わり。ターンエンドね。スタート！クリーンアップ！ドロー！さあ、来たれ！ 1986年10月4日！
やっぱりこのバラ庭園は圧巻だぜ。6年前よりさらにすごくなってやがる。こんなのが似合わなんて羨ましいぜ。
んなことはねえぜ。私にとっちゃ船着き場まで遠くて邪魔なだけなんだけどな。
それは贅沢な悩みだね。
毎朝バラと挨拶してから投稿。素敵素敵。こんなにいっぱいのバラみんなと挨拶してたら遅刻しちゃうね。
演者は残念だな。お腹壊しやすいんだって？
らしいな。腸が弱いんだろうよ。しょっちゅう下痢してるぜ。
おお、レディーにそういうの言うのいけない。
それはすまねえ。そうだよな。女の子のお尻からはマシュマロが出るんだもんな。エンジは体調が悪くてマシュマロが水飴になっちまったわけだ。
それはさすがに
下品が過ぎるね。
George and Jessica slammed a knee and a fist right into either side of Battler's gut. That smack thud was probably the sound of his knees hitting the ground and him falling over. Normally, Battler possessed the good sense you'd expect of an 18-year-old man. However, it seemed that this reunion had brought him back to the mental age he had been 6 years ago. And bit by bit, Jessica and George realized that they were also returned to the way they'd been 6 years ago. This charming chat was being observed by Natsuhi gazing through an open window in the hall.
奥様、旦那様がお探しです。
もう少ししたら行きます。まだお昼にもなっていないのに。疲れました。
The sparks had been flying between them and Ava's group only a few moments earlier. The others had pounded on Kraus and Natsuhi over and over to get Kinzo out of his study. Apparently, they hadn't been fully tricked at last year's family conference after all.
お父様は問題ありませんね。
はい。 お任せを。シャノンとカノンも今日の段取りを十分に心得ております。
熊沢は嘘をつくのが上手なようですから心配しませんが、南條先生が少し心配です。隠し事が苦手そうでおられますから。
お任せを。可能な限り私が南條先生のお近くで補佐するつもりです。
あなたがいてくれるなら頼もしいですね。本当に助かります。現地の力なくして成し得ないことです。
恐縮でございます。
安心せよ。書斎の密室結界は完璧だ。結界を破らぬ限り、誰にも金蔵の秘密を暴くことなどできん。
ええ、分かっています。しかしあなたも先ほどの客間でのやりとりを聞いていたでしょ？
うん。やはり去年の時点で相当の不信感を持たれていたのであろうな。凄まじき毒素を溜め込み振りまいておるわ。
やはり今年が正念場になりそうですね。
今年を何とか乗り越えることはできようが、仏の顔もなんとやらだ。さすがに来年は無理と心得た方がよかろうな。
これほどまでに反魔法の毒素が満ちては、来年の親族会議でもゴールドスミス教の魔法を維持するのは難しいでしょう。
誰ですか、あなたは。
ああ、驚かずともよい。わらわの家具頭を務める男だ。
はじめまして、夏日奥様、ロノウェと申します。どうぞお見知りおきを。
頼れる男だ。この男にも密室結界を守ってもらう。
そうですか。後宮夏日です。あなたにも協力をお願いします。
はい、奥様。魔法世界からお手伝いをさせていただきます。どうかお任せを。
ついでだから私も紹介してもらおうかしら。
Oh, she makes her appearance again, huh?
はい、リーチェ。ご無沙汰。ガープか。そなたまで来てくれるとは心強い。遊びに来ただけのつもりだったんだけどね。手がいるようだったら声をかけて。はじめまして、マダム。挨拶するのは初めてだけど、私はいつだって誰のそばにでもいるわ。
こちらのガープはなかなかのいたずら者。先日、奥様が自室にてお召しになろうとして、床に落とし見つけられなかった頭痛薬。ガープの仕業でございますよ。
確かに置いたはずなのに見つけられない小物があったら、こやつのいたずらを疑うがよいぞ。わらわも昔、随分とからかわれたものだ。
そうですか。
You know what's funny? As all this is going on, I'm wondering what's going through her head, because right now we're being shown all of this, but in reality she's alone with Genji. So I'm assuming that right now she's just like rummaging through all these thoughts in her head, trying to figure out a way to somehow subvert any more problems that are coming through from the other family. But it's so weird that they brought it out like this, where you have Beatrice, Gap, and Ronov to try and confuse you.
いずれにせよ、ここは後宮の屋敷です。当家にいる間は当家に従っていただきます。よろしいですね。
もちろんです。心得ております。魔法世界での源氏と思い、どうぞいつでもご用命ください。
See, it's also odd that Ronov is telling Natsu to regard him as the Genji of the magical world, and you know.
私にも客人の心得はあるつもりよ。家主の顔は潰さないわ。
Even Gap, when she said that if you're ever missing anything, it's usually because of her pranks. when in all likelihood it's just, well, you lost it. Because of, you know, misplacing something or what have you. She's just an excuse to get us to keep thinking that, you know, she exists.
ロノウェもガープも頼れるぞ。しかし、魔法の世界と人間の世界は表裏一体。
わかってます。もちろん、私も人間の世界から努力します。力を合わせて、お父様の秘密を守りましょう。
うん。
いつもの展開だな。どうせ翌日にならなきゃ話は進まね
え。まあそうね。10月4日は私にとっての準備ターンみたいなものだし。バトラに何もする気がないのなら、10月5日までのんびりしててくれていいのよ。6人死んだら呼んであげる。
Of course, that was a very irritating way to say it. The fight wouldn't start until the crime occurred. However, waiting for the crimes to start would mean turning a blind eye towards the murders of the first Twilight. In other words, it would be the same as being content with the fact that 6 people would die.
知ってる？チェスの先手と後手では、先手の勝率が2倍とも言われてるのよ。戦術の進歩でだいぶ変わるけどね。後手はドローを狙えれば上々とか言われてるんだっけ？
先手必勝くらい俺も知ってるぜ。なら、どうしろってんだ。
そんなだからあんたは無能なのよ。本当にいい？バトラー。10月4日にだって解くことができる謎は存在するわ。何が解けるか。
まさか。いや、しかし。
まあ見てなさい。無能のバトラー。
I have a general idea of what these witches are talking about. I've tried solving it several times myself in the past, but I still haven't found anything resembling an answer. On the contrary, I still can't even understand why that riddle exists. That's right, the reason it exists. Why did Beato prepare a riddle like that in the first place? We all discussed it together from time to time in past games. However, I've been avoiding thinking about it under the assumption that there's no point in investigating the riddle unless we can solve it. This time, I should change my viewpoint. I shouldn't just focus on the obvious parts, like the truth of the riddle and how to solve it. What's more important is why that riddle was set up in the first place and displayed for us to see. That's what I should be thinking about. And the one proposing that riddle is Beatrice. Even if I can't solve it, I should be able to try and figure out what Beato was thinking when she showed it to us. Alright, this time, I'm turning the chessboard over. The witches keep calling me incompetent. Let them laugh. My enemy isn't them. I'm continuing our match. Beato. And the storm begins.
お、とうとう降り始めたようやな。
やれやれ。土砂降りは心の中だけにしたかったもんだぜ。
The people in the parlor noticed that raindrops had started to drift down the window.
これで親族会議が終わるまで私たちには逃げ場なしってわけね。それは兄さんたちだって同じよ。逃がさないわ。絶対に。こっちのカードは悪くないのよ。兄さんは虚勢を張ってるだけだわ。絶対に屈服させてみせる。
取引っちゅうんはな、相手を任すもんとちゃうで。落としどころを用意しておいて、相手に花を持たせて自らに座らせるもんなんや。
秀吉さんの言う通りだわ。さっきの話もちょっと追い詰めすぎよ、エヴァ姉さん。兄さんにはあれくらいでちょうどいいわよ。
なんだ、ローザは寝ちまったのか？
朝が早かったとぼやいとったな。ま、昼寝もええんとちゃうか。
下手すりゃ今夜は徹夜だ。今から仮眠も賢いかもな。
Out of consideration for Rosa, who had fallen asleep on a sofa, the others quietly left the parlor. Rosa slept unaware. After telling Maria to just stay where she was after the tantrum over not being able to find her rose, Rosa slept unaware that the rain had started to fall. The rain poured down as though it had been saving up for this moment. Of course, Maria noticed that the rain had started falling and was soaking her to the bone. However, that just made her even more stubborn. Unable to find the poor, slightly unhealthy rose that she herself had marked, she just couldn't stand having that search be interrupted by something like the rain. So the more the rain fell on Maria, the more stubborn she grew, and she wandered around and around the rose beds. As she did, from behind her back came a patter-patter, the sound of approaching footsteps. Then whoever it was stepped in a very small puddle, making a light splashing sound, and Maria finally heard. However, even the slight distraction that sound caused made her feel irritated, and Maria ignored it despite having heard it.
Konnichiwa.
Huh. Maria turned around bewildered. After all, that voice was one she didn't recognize at all. And every single scenario where she was in the rose garden, raining, she always claimed it was Beatrice. Except for that one episode in episode 4 where it was Kinzo. And now she doesn't recognize the voice of this character. On this sealed up Rokenjima, that voice belonged to no person she knew.
Danna-sama, Oku-sama. 探しました。大変でございます。
If it's a girl, I'm trying to see who it could be. If everyone in the family is still inside, and it's a girl, that leaves the servants. Kumasawa, doubt it. Shannon? Definitely not Kanon. Even though for all I know his voice is probably done by a girl actress, but okay. Well, for all we know, she's in the room anyway, so we'll find out. Kraus and Natsu had been privately discussing what should be done next in the deserted corridor on the 3rd floor. Genji had searched everywhere for them.
どうしたのかね。シーツを雨に濡らした程度では、そこまで慌てることでもないと思うがね。
何事です？何か粗相でも？
海難事故で漂流されたと申す方が、先ほどお屋敷にいらっしゃられました。
Kraus and Natsu couldn't help but go wide-eyed and look at each other. This was the first time they had ever heard of someone coming to this island uninvited.
漂流？それは本当かね。気の毒に来客として丁重に扱いたまえ。今はどうしているのかね。
南條先生が診察しております。まだ診察中ですが、私の見た限りお疲れの様子ではありますが、怪我などをされているようには見えませんでした。
それはよかった。私と夏日は今大切な話をしている。終わったらすぐに見舞いに行こう。その漂流者にはぜひくつろいでほしいと伝えたまえ。
かしこまりました。
Genji bowed deeply and started to leave, but Natsu called him to stop. Genji stopped walking and Natsu jogged up to him.
Genji, その漂流者は男ですか？
いいえ、お嬢様くらいの若い女性でございます。
女性？そうですか。結構です。下がりなさい。
The parlor of the mansion was bustling. The adults gathered, concerned about the well-being of this sudden guest.
まあ自力でバラ庭園まで歩いてこれたなら命に別状はねえだろうよ。
転ばぬ先の杖やな。ライフジャケットのおかげやろ。あれがなかったら溺れ死んどったかもわからんで。
どんな子だったの？ジョージやジェシカちゃんより上？下？
ジェシカお姉ちゃんよりは下だった。ライフジャケットと水着だった。ヘトヘトみたいだった。
漂着したのが船着き場のあたりだったなら本当に不幸中の幸いね。
Okay, so Natsuhi, when she was speaking to her quote-unquote son on the phone, she kept talking about how she couldn't distinguish the voice between a man and a woman, even though clearly to us it was a man. And right now they're saying a woman washed up adrift here in the mansion, or in the family, you know, family island of Rokenjima. Did he disguise himself as a girl? That's one thing we can put in the back burner for now.
もし島の反対側だったら大変だったわ。
But then, I don't know. Is he that talented a voice actor?
しかし気の毒ね。
But I'm also thinking it could be Shannon though. That voice was a little high, but it could also be within the same range as her too. So, okay.
この天気じゃきっと船も来られない。明日いっぱいまで彼女もこの島に釘付けかしら。
At that moment, the door clunked open and everyone looked in that direction.
皆様、お茶はいかがですか?
Hey, where's Shannon? It was Goda and Kanon, with the latter pushing a serving cart laden with tea set. Goda understood well that doing a little extra at times like this would earn him points. The relatives hungry for information crowded around Goda. Goda ordered Kanon to serve the tea and became the sole object of the relatives' attention.
ゴダさん、どうなんだいその子は。元気そうなのか？
さあ、わかりません。ですが、心配ご無用。南條先生がつきっきりで見ておりますし、熊沢もシャノンも一緒です。
Uh-huh. See, now you're telling me that Shannon's with them, but I want to see it. I want to see her.
どうぞ、ご安心ください。まずは紅茶でおくつろぎになってはいかがですか？さあ、カノンさん、早く配って配って。
ったく、なんで僕が。
Kanon knew that this tea was just Goda's way of earning points, so he lined the cups up with a slightly sullen air.
マリアも手伝う。
大丈夫です。マリア様はそのままでお待ちを。
マリアも配膳やる。
南條先生にはお会いしてないの？何か言ってなかった？
ええ、先ほどお会いしましたところ、それほどの外傷はないそうで。私もちらりとお見かけしたところでは。
Just as Goda had successfully captured the gazes of all present and was about to start talking knowledgeably on the subject, Nanjo returned. Of course, Nanjo instantly became the center of attention. Kanon turned his back on Goda, who seemed downhearted.
南條先生、どうなんですか、容体は。大丈夫そうなの？
皆さん、ご安心を。大丈夫です。怪我は何もありませんでした。だいぶ疲労しているようですが、今夜特に熱を出さなければ何事もないでしょ
う。ならよかったわ。お医者様はいても病院はないものね。
Everyone was relieved to hear that the girl was in good health. when Nanjo gave the more detailed results of his examination, concluding by saying that she was young and should therefore be fine, everyone who no longer fell under this description nodded in assent.
おー、やっぱり船は怖い。落ちる、落ちる。バトラの言う通りだった。
マリアちゃん、それバトラ君には内緒ね。
ああ、奥様、旦那様。
Even in the game world, Battler can't get a break, even for the smallest things. Goda, who was feeling sorry for himself and handing out cups, called out in an excessive loud voice. Apparently, he was that desperate to get everyone's attention.
客人の具合はどうだね？
はい。別状はないとのことでございます。
そうですか。それはよかった。今はどちらに？
熊沢さんとシャノンさんがお風呂に案内したはずだ。それから服を見立てると言ってましたな。
ならすぐに来るだろう。諸君、親族会議の日ではあるが、不幸な事故で訪れることとなった来客だ。
The only excuse that Kumasawa and Shannon would stay with the new visitor would be because if she is a girl, obviously you want other girls to be taken care of her in terms of other things, including bathing and all that, but still, that person on the phone was definitely a dude. And if the person arrived was a woman, and a woman spoke to, and that same woman, spoke to Maria, I want to think it's Shannon. Okay.
招いた客人ではないが、どうか歓迎してやってほし
い。意義などあるわけもない。
Unless the visitor is that blue-haired girl we saw in the beginning. And even then, I can't discount the fact that, you know, she, quote-unquote, really exists.
賛成や。
同じくだ。女の子には優しくしろって、おふくろも言ってたぜ。
あなたはそれを人生のモットーにしすぎよ。ジョージたちも呼んだ方がいいわね。全員で挨拶しましょう。
そんな、かえって恐縮させちゃうんじゃない？
Ava stood up and made a phone call to the guest house. At that moment, they heard the sound of a knock, followed by Genji's voice.
源氏でございます。お客様がお越しになられました。
At those words, everyone fell into silence, and the people who had been sitting stood up straight. Genji came in first, opening the door slowly, then moved off to the side, bowing deeply and urging the guests forwards. Oh. The guest had Shannon and Kumasawa following by her side. And though she looked at the large amount of relatives waiting for her in the parlor, she didn't seem overawed in the slightest. Just this single point showed that this girl possessed the dignity appropriate for a guest invited in by the Ushiromiya family.
フルド様、ご紹介申し上げます。後宮家当主代行、後宮クラウスにございます。
ようこそ六軒島へ。事故でいらしたとはいえ、あなたは当家の客人だ。歓迎しますよ。どうぞ、当家おしばしの間、ご自宅と思い。
ありがとうございます。
Okay, that voice is very high in the same register as the one that spoke to Maria. And then there's also the fact that Maria didn't recognize her, but then again, Shannon could have easily been disguised too, right? Okay.
自己紹介申し上げます。
Yes, who are you?
フルド・エリカと申します。
Uh-huh, there's the magic tone. Furudo Erika fell from the pleasure boat Eternal Maid 2 mid-cruise in the waters near Rokenjima. She washed up on Rokenjima on October 4th, 1986. The Ushiromiya family welcomed her as a guest. She managed to drift to the island unharmed thanks to several miracles, including the life jacket she was wearing. Okay, we got another new character in here.
この度は後ろ宮家の皆様をお騒がせしてしまい、誠に申し訳ございません。
No, you're not sorry. You came here on purpose with that intention. Come on. We went through 4 episodes of this and now you show up? No. Alright, you know what, guys? I'm gonna end it here for today. Thank you all for watching. When we come back, we're gonna continue on and see what this girl has to say for herself, as well as how she'll affect the rest of the story moving forward. So I'll see you all in the next one.